So it was announced this past week on Impact Wrestling on Access TV that there will be an Impact World Championship match coming up at No Surrender on February 13. But it's not the Impact World Championship match that I think a lot of people thought we would be getting. It's not going to be Rich Swann versus Moose. No, it's not going to be Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega either. It's going to be Rich Swann defending the Impact World Championship against the ECW hardcore legend himself, the innovator of violence, Tommy Dreamer. Now, recently on Impact Wrestling on Access TV, reigning Impact World Champion Rich Swann thanked Tommy Dreamer for his service to the Impact Wrestling locker room and the wider professional wrestling industry. Now, he noted that not only is February 13th the date of No Surrender on Impact Plus, but it's also Tommy Dreamer's 50th birthday. Therefore, as a special gift, Rich Swann offered Dreamer an Impact World Championship opportunity at the event, and the innovator of violence graciously accepted. As these two friends look to steal the show, who will leave No Surrender with the Impact World Championship around their waist? Now, before we get into why they've done this, is it a good idea, etc., etc., to answer that tagline there, who will leave with the Impact World Championship around their waist, that will be Rich Swann. There is no doubt in my mind. I mean, if this is wrong, it's wrong, and you can clip it, and you can say, oh, you were wrong, and all this kind of stuff, and I will gladly eat crow over that, but there is no way, just no way I can see a situation where Tommy Dreamer becomes the Impact World Champion. That isn't happening. That isn't going to happen. So I don't think we have to worry about that. Look, if I wouldn't, unusual circumstances, I wouldn't mind the match, right? I think the story's pretty cute. I think the story's pretty decent. You know, you've got Tommy Dreamer, this living legend in the world of pro wrestling. He's been around forever. Frankly, you know, it's his 50th birthday on February 13th. It feels like he's been around way longer than that, you know, going back to the early days of ECW. I remember him in ECW when he used to wear suspenders and not wear a shirt to the ring. So I've followed Tommy Dreamer pretty much his whole career, and he is a testament to the pro wrestling business, what he's done for it inside of the ring, outside of the ring, the way he helps look after talent. He keeps touch with legends in the industry. He books his own promotional, did prior to the pandemic, you know, House of Hardcore. He used to work in talent relations for WWE. He helped behind the scenes of ECW. This guy has given everything to the pro wrestling industry, and he is in love with the pro wrestling industry. There's no argument about that. There's no argument that Tommy Dreamer doesn't deserve to have at least one more main event for the World Championship in his career. I don't necessarily have an issue with that. What I have a problem with is probably the timing. I think right now, considering the momentum that Impact Wrestling has, you know, they did this past week on Impact on Access TV, they did their second best number since the Kenny Omega debut, or their best number since the Kenny Omega debut in December. That was a record number for Impact Wrestling on Access TV. Now, this week's wasn't their second best number ever, but it was right up there. It was a strong viewership, a very strong demographic too. It was a sign that what they're doing in Impact Wrestling right now, when it comes to this AEW and Impact Wrestling relationship, what they're doing is working. And is Tommy Dreamer versus Rich Swann the best main event you can do right now, considering the momentum that you have? The answer obviously is no, it isn't. I think, you know, even the segment they did on Tuesday when they went through all this, so Rich Swann's there and he calls out Tommy Dreamer and he says, I'm going to give you a World Championship opportunity because it's your birthday. Wow, well done. Apparently that's all it takes. It just takes for you to be your birthday, then you can get an opportunity to become world champion. I think that's pretty ludicrous. Again, I don't mind the story necessarily. I don't think the story's horrendous or anything like that. I think it's a fun story, and I think it's a story that there could be some really interesting beats involved in there of the legend. Does he have one more last run in him? Does he have that one last moment in him? I've been likening Tommy Dreamer in Impact recently. I mean, he's been wearing the bandana. He's trying to be, I think, the Terry Funk figure that Terry Funk was in ECW. Now, obviously, I don't think Tommy Dreamer is revered in the industry as Terry Funk was at the time. I mean, you're talking a guy that was former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Is Tommy Dreamer one of the greatest wrestlers of all time? No disrespect to Tommy, but he's not. But again, the story itself, I like the story. I think any other time of the year, I think that story's interesting for, you know, a random throwaway Impact Plus event. I think that makes an Impact Plus event mean a bit more. But right now, you need something big because you have momentum and you got to strike while the iron's hot. This AEW Impact relationship, it is working, and the ratings prove that. Kenny Omega's gone for a little bit, okay? Don Callis says on Impact, oh, we're on hiatus, we're just going to be involved in Jacksonville at the moment. Okay, that's fine. They're involved in Jacksonville. What do you have at your disposal right now? You have AEW's Matt Hardy and Private Party. Now, Private Party, obviously, they're going to be facing the Good Brothers. They're challenging for the Impact World Tag Team Championships at No Surrender. If you want to give someone one last match in the Impact Wrestling spotlight, if you want to give someone an Impact Wrestling opportunity for their services to the industry and their services to Impact Wrestling, why wouldn't you have Rich Swann versus Matt Hardy at No Surrender? Now, as I mentioned at the top of the video, Rich Swann's going to beat Tommy Dreamer. I have no doubt in my mind. I mean, you know, if it doesn't, I mean, I don't know what I'll do because I really can't see it happening. But Rich Swann's going to beat Tommy Dreamer. Okay, that's just going to happen. If he faced Matt Hardy, there would at least be some discussion of, well, you never know. This AEW and Impact thing might just take a complete, left turn, and suddenly Matt Hardy wins the Impact World Championship. Stranger things have happened. And if you've got the whole Matt Hardy and Private Party thing going on for the next few weeks because they were at the most recent TV tapings, why not? Why not have a situation where the co-main event is the Good Brothers facing AEW's Private Party, who are managed by Matt Hardy, and then the main event is Rich Swann versus Matt Hardy for the Impact World Championship. Then you've got two matches that are very much AEW versus Impact. Then you've got two matches that continue this progression of the AEW and Impact Wrestling rivalry, the AEW invasion. Maybe Tony Khan gets involved in both of those matches. Maybe Tony Khan is sitting at ringside taking more notes, as not only does he want his AEW tag team to take the Impact World Tag Team titles, he also wants his Carney legend in Matt Hardy to take the Impact World Championship. What better way to stick it to a Don Callis and people involved in Impact Wrestling than taking two of their top titles? That ain't a bad idea. And as I mentioned before, it's not that I have a problem with Tommy Dreamer, and it's not that I have a problem with this match. Again, I think the storyline, if you did this storyline some other time of the year, maybe if they did this storyline in December or something like that, I really wouldn't have minded. But just right now, it doesn't feel like the right time. Now, obviously, when it comes to Tommy Dreamer's 50th birthday, they can't do it at another time because his birthday is February the 13th. I get that. I just don't know. I don't know if it's the right thing right now. And some of the response that I saw on social media and some of the response that I saw on the community tab, we do regular posts here on the channel on the community tab, so be sure to check them out. We get some really interesting and different opinions on some of those posts, which I really like to see. That's what this whole channel is about. It's just about pro wrestling, building a community. All opinions, as I always say, are welcome, and I really like when people have different opinions. I think that's what makes pro wrestling so great. And when I said, describe Impact in 3 words this week, some of the responses I got was less Dreamer, please, or needs less Dreamer. And again, I understand where they're coming from. Not in the sense that they're being disrespectful to Tommy Dreamer. Not in the sense that they're saying, oh, he can't go anymore or he's past it. It's just, is this the right spot for him right now? I get it. If when Rich Swann beats Tommy Dreamer to retain the Impact World Championship, does that elevate him? I don't know if it elevates him. I don't know if it gives him any more credibility because we expect Rich Swann to beat Tommy Dreamer for the Impact World Championship. Does it help build him up more as a champion? I always say to become a great champion, you have to win, and keep on winning. Look at Drew McIntyre over the course of the last 12 months. He's practically done nothing but win, and the guy's a megastar right now. So I think a victory over Tommy Dreamer would be good for Rich Swann. I just don't know, as I've mentioned time and time again in this video already, I just don't know if the timing's right. I think with Impact getting quite hot at the moment, with a lot of eyeballs on the product, every time you do a special event, every time you put on an episode of Impact on Access TV, you need to have a main event that draws people in and delivers. At the moment, right now, when you do have more eyeballs on the product than you might usually do, or you do have more eyeballs on the product, new eyeballs on the product that are coming over from the AEW land of things, is having a main event program of Rich Swann versus Tommy Dreamer really the best thing for Impact right now? And my answer would be no. My answer would be no right now. Going into this, I thought we might get Rich Swann versus Moose. That doesn't look like it's going to be the case, which again throws up some more ideas when it comes to Rebellion in April. I still think, given the Omega symbol on that Rebellion logo, that we're going to get Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega for the Impact World Championship, or arguably both World Championships, the Impact and AEW World Championship. But between now and then, you've also got the Rich Swann versus Moose match that Rich Swann has promised to Moose at one point. We know that Rich Swann is going to be facing Moose at some point for that Impact World Championship. We just don't know when or where. I thought, considering that Rich Swann offered it to Moose at Genesis. That's how Moose got it at Genesis during that I Quit match against Willie Mack. Then they teamed up together at Hard to Kill. And then after Hard to Kill, Moose attacks Rich Swann, and they've practically been building to this thing for months and months and months. At this point, I thought, well, I don't think it's going to happen at Rebellion, because I think that's where Kenny Omega's spot is. So it's going to have to be No Surrender. And now that it's not No Surrender, it does make you wonder, well, when's it going to happen then? Where is that going to happen? And the answer is, I don't know. I really don't know at this point. So that is certainly going to be interesting. Of course, something to also consider is this match might not happen. This match might not happen. This might just be a placeholder for right now. Maybe it's so, can you really have a main event from No Surrender of Rich Swann versus Tommy Dreamer, considering the circumstances right now of how much momentum Impact has? Is that the best thing for him right now? Maybe it's so ridiculous that it isn't going to happen. Maybe we are going to get Rich Swann versus Moose. Maybe we are going to get Rich Swann versus Chris Bay or something like that. I mean, the segment on Impact this past week, everyone that came out had a legitimate claim to the championship, right? And I thought Moose had the most legitimate claim, and Tommy Dreamer arguably had the least legitimate claim to having a world championship opportunity. So it's not out of the realm of possibility right now that between now and No Surrender, this main event changes. Whether it's going to be Swann versus Dreamer, whether it's going to be Swann versus Dreamer versus Moose, whether it's going to be Swann versus Dreamer versus Moose versus Chris Bay, who knows? Maybe even Sami Callihan could get involved. Again, I'm not saying the story's bad there, because I don't think the story's bad there. I think the story of the young upstart champion against a guy that the event falls on his 50th birthday, the legendary figure of Tommy Dreamer that has done so much for pro wrestling, that has been around for so long, a guy that still to this day has the exact same amount of passion that he did when he first broke into it. I think that story's great. Is that story for right now, though? I just don't think it is. I think Tommy Dreamer's best suited to those middle of the card matches where he puts people over, because again, frankly, you can talk about, he's contributed so much to the industry, that's why he deserves a world championship opportunity, but look at his last few matches. When was the last time Tommy Dreamer won a match? I mean, whether it's pretty much he just does these old school rules matches at this point, but he lost to Moose at Slammiversary. I think he was part of the Gauntlet at Bound for Glory. He lost that. Hard to Kill, of course, he was part of that old school rules match which Violent by Design won. So again, realistically, what's he done to deserve that world championship opportunity apart from being a legend? And I just don't know right now if that's the right time. If I'm an AEW fan and I'm going, you know what, I haven't watched Impact in years, or I've never watched Impact before, but look, Impact and AEW have this relationship at the moment. They're telling me, even if it's subconsciously, because they don't tell him straight out on AEW at the moment, they're telling me I need to watch Impact. Social media's telling me I need to watch Impact because AEW stars are showing up there. Matt Hardy's there, Private Party's there, Tony Khan's there, Kenny Omega's there. I need to start watching Impact because I might miss something. Okay. And then I tune in and I go, oh, this is quite good. What's their main event program? Rich Swann versus Tommy Dreamer. You go, I mean, I know Tommy Dreamer. That guy's been around for a while. And again, I know the story is the old grizzled veteran trying to give one up more opportunity. But if I was Impact right now, I'd want to be putting on the best product possible and the best main event possible. And I know they don't purposely put on a bad program or a bad main event. And I'm not saying that this would be. Maybe this is going to be a fantastic main event full of drama, full of storytelling that can only be told by a young guy versus a waning legend on his 50th birthday. Maybe it's going to be a fantastic story. Maybe I'm going to be proved to be wrong. I just think that, as I mentioned before, is the timing right on this one? It just doesn't feel like it. It feels like there probably could be better matches that they put on right now, whether that is Rich Swann versus Moose, whether that is, because some people might say with the Rich Swann Moose thing, they're saving it to Slammiversary. Moose contract expires in June, so he might not even be around in July. So when do you do that? Do you make the match at Rebellion? Do you make that a triple threat match? Because I think the money match at the moment is Rich Swann versus Kenny Omega for that world championship. I think maybe an even bigger money match might be a triple threat match. Rich Swann Moose, Kenny Omega for all the titles on the line. The bout collector of Kenny Omega. That could be fun. And if that is the case, then maybe this is the right match. I don't know. I just feel there could be better matches they do right now, and as I mentioned, I'm just not sure if it's the right timing for it. But of course, as always, it's just one man's opinion. What are your thoughts on Rich Swann defending the Impact World Championship against Tommy Dreamer at at No Surrender on February 13th. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll do my best to respond and reply to all of your comments. Really enjoy interacting with you guys, talking about Impact Wrestling, WWE, AEW, all things pro wrestling here on the channel. So be sure to get involved in the community, drop a comment below. All opinions are welcome. If you haven't enjoyed this video, please do smash a like on the like button too. Really does help us out here on YouTube. Go up the rankings and get into people's recommendation feeds if they haven't seen our videos previously. But most importantly, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Wrestle News 365. You can do that by clicking the bottom right hand corner of the screen right now, or if you wait a few seconds, there'll be a subscribe button at the end of this video along with another video for you to watch. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today, and I'll speak for you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.